Alright guys, this is section 2 for unit 3. We're looking at the tenses and the forms of be, have, and do for verbs. So I have some really basic definitions up on the board. I'm not sure where everybody in the class is in terms of the grammar mastery for the verb forms. So I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but I expect that you might have a lot of questions, so please make sure you either email me or you can drop the comments below. The comments would be a little bit faster for me to refer to. But just let me know if you need more explanation, and I will post a second video if necessary. So we have our basic definitions on the board. We have base form, which I'm using the example jump, the verb jump. So there's always 4 forms of each verb that we can use. So the base form of jump would be jump. The present participle of jump would be jumping, and I have included the a form of be in there. So remember, just because I say form of be, so if you go back to section 1, when we have being verbs, so when we're using the present participle, the form of be for the present participle will be is. So is jumping would be correct. And then the third form, past, we would have jumped. So we're just adding ed on there. And then for the past participle, we will have has jumped. And that's the form of have, but it's in the past. So we'll go over this those forms of be and have more extensively as we go on. Remember, we can refer back to pages 118, 119, 120, and 122 if we are not catching exactly what I'm saying. I just pulled these definitions from those pages. Okay, and then we're going down to the bottom. So we're looking at a definition for present. We're looking at the 3 tenses that we use in the English language. So we have present tense, so situations that exist now. For example, we're using the verb walk. For past tense, we're using, that refers to situations that occurred in the past. So for our example, we would have walked. We're adding the ed at the end. And then for future tense, that would refer to situations that will occur in the future. So for example, we'll put the helping verb will walk in front of our verb. And then we want to remember our spelling rules. So number 1, we have the example chopped, and then we're turning it into chopping for our present participle, and then chopped for our past tense. And that the first rule refers to our 1-syllable verbs ending with a single consonant. So 1-syllable words ending with a single consonant. So if you notice down here when we had walk, we don't double the K because there's 2 consonants at the end of that word. But because there's a vowel right in front of the P, that's why we double the last consonant, and then we add ing or ed. So for number 2, this rule refers to verbs ending with E. So the rule is to drop the E before adding ed or ing. So we have type, going from typing, we drop the E. And then for the last past participle tense, we would use ed. So we're dropping the E, but we're adding back ed. If you want to make it a little bit simpler in your mind, you can just say we're adding a D. But the result is still the same. And then for number 3, that spelling rule refers to verbs ending with a consonant and a Y. So because R is a consonant and then we have a Y that is following, we would change the Y to I before adding ed. So that's for cried. But you just add ing at the end of a Y when it follows a consonant. And then the last set of definitions we'll need to know will be present perfect. So when it's asking you for present perfect, you're going to be looking to add the either has or have, depending on if it's singular or plural. And then past perfect, you'll be adding a had. And then for future perfect, you will add will have. So this set of definitions will be important to us as we look at our first couple of questions. Okay. So our instructions say to rewrite each item using the verb and tense in parentheses. So the first item that they have for us, number 6, would be they. So they want us to use the helping verb have, and they want us to put it in past perfect. So if we look back at our definitions, to use past perfect, you need to have had. You need to add had. And then because they want us to use the verb have, we need to have it twice. So I know it's going to sound a little confusing, but so we have they on your paper, and then they want the form of have in there, so we're going to use had, and then you're going to put had again. So number 6, you should have they had had. All right, let's go to number 7. So we have we, and then they want you to transform do into future perfect. So I'll give you guys a second to think about that. Future perfect. So you need to have on your paper, you should have we will have, because we're using future perfect, and they want you to transform do. So the future perfect tense of do will be done. So for number 7, you should have we will have done. Because if you say we will have do, that doesn't make sense. Do is the present tense. Done would be the future. So for number 8, I, and they want you to use have in the present perfect. So present perfect would be either has or have. So I'm giving you guys a second to think about that. So for 8, our answer would be I have had. All right, so I'm not sure if that was really clear to you guys. If you already have a grasp, I won't go any deeper than we have already, but if this is still really confusing, let me know and I'll make a longer video, even though this one's pretty long. But just let me know, guys.